Hey guys, I just had to talk a little bit about the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson, and as a Seahawks fan, and I can't, I can't lie. I mean, I was just over the moon when they lost to the Raiders this weekend. To the now 3-7 Raiders. The Raiders have won 3 games this year. They beat the Texans and they've beaten the Broncos twice. I mean, honestly, as a Seahawks fan, I couldn't have scripted this year in my wildest dream any better. I mean, it's just been unbelievable. The Broncos are an absolute free fall. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Initially when the Broncos struggled this year, I was like, yeah, they're gonna figure it out. Nathaniel Hackett, he's a brilliant offensive coordinator. He's just getting used to the to being the head coach, the main guy. Dude, the guy last week got relieved of offensive calling duties. That's how bad this offense has been. They are dead last in scoring. They just traded and paid a guy, a Hall of Fame quarterback, 240 million. They have one of the supposedly one of the best offensive coordinators in football last year as their head coach, and they are dead last in the NFL in points and scoring. They're averaging I think 14.5 points a game. I was reading some stat that if the Broncos just averaged 18 or 19 points a game, they'd be 9-1 this year. They have one of the best 3 defenses in the league right now. So it's not only, I mean, it's crazy. It's not only are the Broncos bad this year, the main reason why they're bad is Russell Wilson. Like, I mean, dude, Russell Wilson is one of my favorite players. If you went to my Instagram, you'd see Russell Wilson, and I made a comment about how sad I was to see him leave, and how in my opinion, he's the greatest Seahawk of all time. Right, the greatest Seahawk of all time. Well, the greatest Seahawk of all time, 10 games through with the Denver Broncos, 3-7, and they have the worst offense in football. And I mean, and their cap situation, their draft pick situation, all that is in bad shape because of him. They're supposed to be contending for a Super Bowl. They're not gonna make the playoffs. So I'm even surprised Nathaniel Hackett wasn't fired. I mean, honestly, the thing is, I don't know who's going to take over that coaching job, because I don't know who wants it, right? Beside another coordinator who's unproven. And so I don't know if it's really an upgrade, right? So maybe that's what the Broncos are the front office is debating, but it is bad in Denver. Man, 3-7. I just don't see the guy like Sean Payton coaching this team. And it's the other thing too is about Russ is he's taking no accountability too. In interviews, he's not even. I mean, he's saying we all gotta play better. We all gotta do this. He's talking about the journey and the right. It's dude, the problem the Broncos have, bro. Right now is you. You're not playing good football. He looks. I don't even recognize him. A lot of the mistakes he's making in Seattle, I'm kind of seeing that, but I'm seeing that threefold. He's not scrambling anymore. He's not getting rid of the ball, or at least taking too many sacks. When he should have taken a sack at the end of that game to burn off more clock, he just threw it out of bounds. He's making a lot of mental errors. I was seeing a report that he was literally calling Seattle audibles at the line of scrimmage, and the Denver players had no idea what was going on. I mean, those are just things he just I don't understand what's happening with Russell Wilson. I don't even recognize him. I don't know if his ego's gone to him and he's just trying to, play style quarterback again the Brady's, the Breeze, the Manning, that doesn't suit him. I don't know if because Nathaniel Hackett was supposed to be a Green Bay coordinator. He's a Green Bay coordinator. He was brought in Denver to coach Aaron Rodgers. Whether that offense doesn't mesh with Russell Wilson, now they're just kind of fighting back and forth instead of finding an offense that works. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's the O-line, because it was supposedly the O-line in Seattle. But Russ is holding the ball too long. He's not hitting the deep throws. I mean, he has 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I saw this other like stat. It was like he's on pace to throw 11 touchdowns this year. That's one less touchdown than the amount of bathrooms he has in his new house. He has 12 bathrooms in his house. He's about to throw 11 touchdowns. In Seattle, he was consistently throwing 30 plus touchdowns. So there's a huge problem, and like with that offense. And I don't know what's taking so long to fix it, because you'd think if Nathaniel Hackett is such an offensive coordinator, brilliant mind, that he would be able to fix it. But if anything, they've relieved him of the offensive play duties. And they relieved him of the I think it was like the substitution and time management, because they hired somebody else to do that. So they're delegating more tasks away from Nathaniel Hackett. I mean, pretty soon he's just going to be out the door, because people are going to ask, like, what do you do here, right? Like, the guy is an offensive coordinator and he's no longer handling the offensive play duties. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So, I'm just dumbfounded how I and the rest, I don't think I've ever been so wrong on a take, in a sports take, ever in my life. I can't. I mean, I've made some pretty dumb takes, like thinking the Nets will make the finals. But even those things, I always preface them, with things like, if everybody's healthy, or because a lot of it has to do with health, injuries. Like, the Broncos just don't have any excuse. There's just no excuse. You supposedly traded for one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, because you had supposedly one of the best rosters in the league, except for the quarterback position. You were going to compete. You look at that offense, there's talent all the way across. I know they got some injuries, but every team has injuries, and they don't have big injuries. I don't. It's not injuries. There's something in that organization is not working, and they're not able to fix it. And worse than that, I'm starting to wonder, I mean, is Pete Carroll that good, and John Schneider that good of a coach and general manager? Because, man, if you're John Schneider, you could not have flipped them for more value at the more perfect time than you did. I mean, this trade was absolute ripoff. I mean, I think I saw it was a heist or whatever the term is, but just a complete ripoff. So I don't know. I mean, was Pete Carroll just protecting, Russ from all his mistakes all these years, from all his flaws? That's the narrative going on. And through a couple of games, I was like, there's no way. I mean, the guy's too good. He's 10 years. He went to the playoffs almost every year. He won a Super Bowl, and there was always this thing about, he had limited help on offense. The O-line was bad, and he was doing so much with so little. And now you start to wonder, well, maybe he did have a lot around him, and he just wasn't that good, and he never got a lot better, maybe. And also the thing about Russ is that he was always so good off script and, improvising. And he can't really do that in Denver anymore, because he doesn't, he's lost that quickness, that ability, and he can't get rid of the ball quickly like Brady does. So now he's holding the ball, and there's nothing, and he's not doing anything with it. In Seattle, he would hold the ball too long, but yeah, one time he'd take a bad side, but another time he'd throw a 50-yard touchdown, and you're dancing up and down, and it's hard to criticize him for holding the ball too long. But now, it's like he's holding the ball too long, and there's no explosive plays anymore. And he is completing a lot of balls in between the numbers, but when they get in the red zone, I mean, there is nothing. There's no creativity, no ingenuity, nothing. They have not been able to get touchdowns once they're in the red zone. So they move the ball, and they're always getting field goals. And it's just, like I said, I mean, as a Seattle fan, man, I'm just happy beyond belief, and I'm just this could. I mean, I never in my wildest dream thought this could be a top 5 pick, and now it's it's looking everything like it's gonna be a top 5 pick, because, like I said, Denver's just getting worse and worse. So, I mean, it's just nuts. I don't know. Like I said, as a Seattle fan, I'm just over the moon, over the moon. I mean, you got to think that the Broncos are going to turn this thing around, but probably they're not going to turn it around next year. And honestly, next year, like I'm rooting for Russ to have a great year, and I hope he finishes out his career in a great way. Because again, I'm a big fan of his, but I just can't believe like how bad he's looked and how bad he's been. Like not only that the Broncos are not doing well, not only that they're losing, not only that they're 3-7, not only that their offense is the dead last in the league, but the fact that he is the main reason for that. Like there's just no excuse for him. And he still keeps talking about the group and how they like it's clear that he's trying to do and play football in a way that doesn't suit his strength. And instead of admitting that and looking in the mirror, and just being honest about who he is, he'd rather stick to fake image because because he thinks it's better, because he wants to be like Breeze, and like because he doesn't like who the type of quarterback he is. Like he's not a drop back 45 times, shotgun, type of quarterback. Like he's a guy who's better under the center with a running back. He's a guy who's better, he's good at running, he's good at improvising, he's good at creating time, buying time, like all these things. And right now he's trying to be that prototypical quarterback, and it's just not working. And I don't know if it's Nathaniel Hackett forcing him into that role, and he doesn't want to switch, or what it is. But somebody in that organization has got to step into that situation and just be like, okay, like let's just run what he was doing well in Seattle, at least way more of that, and then the other stuff will work on it. And if it improves, great. If not, at least we're running plays that are working. Because right now, that I've never seen an offense that sterile. There's rookie quarterbacks that are better, that are playing better. There's like just journeymen in the league that are playing better. Like guys like Tyler Heineke are playing better, right? Like middle of the road QBs, you name it, they're playing better. He's supposedly a top 5 quarterback who they gave 240 millions, 170 guaranteed. They traded 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and 3 players for him. And he is probably one of the worst quarterbacks right now in this league. Man, like, yeah, this story in the National Football League, like, I don't think anybody can get over. There's a story too and all this dirt is coming out about Russ. Like how for his teammates to speak to him, they had to go through his manager. They just couldn't have his direct number. They had to first text the manager and then text Russ. And all this stuff is coming out from the ex-players and all that. And it's just, man, like, again, for the rest of the year, I want him to tank, the Broncos to tank. But after that, I really hope Russ gets it together, because he might not make the Hall of Fame. I've never seen such a steep downfall for a guy who's 33, 34 for no like explainable reason that I understand. So that's obvious. It just, like, I don't even think he's lost his ability. He's lost some of the mobility, but the guy's supposedly one of the most accurate deep throwers. He's got a great arm and all that, and supposedly he was a really smart player, a great game manager. He had so many qualities in Seattle. I don't recognize him at all. So, anyways, again, lastly, as a Seattle fan, I'm kind of rejoicing here, but this story just befuddles me. And they're playing Carolina this week. If they do not win that game, wow, like, wow. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. We'll find out next Sunday, and catch you guys later. Bye, guys.